Welcome back, everybody. We are at the C5 Corvette getting ready to install the cheapest oil cooler kit that we could find. It's about 280 bucks. So we're going to get it installed on the Corvette, and we've already run into our first problem, like the reviews say. This is the oil temperature sensor housing that's on the side of the oil filter up there. This is like an M12 by 1.5, and these are, I think, 1/8 MPT. So we're going to have to order a new sensor or an adapter, but that's not going to stop us. We're going to continue on and see how the lines and the actual cooler fit, because there was some complaints about the lines not reaching either. So we're really going to see if this is worth it or not. We're going to match up the bolts that we have stock to the aftermarket ones. We're going to use the old OEM gasket just to mock this real quick and then get those lines set up. Block mounted up in there pretty decently. Now we're going to get the lines run and see how to put them on there and run them around to the front of the cooler. We've been fooling with this thing for a few days now, putting the lines in and out, seeing where they got to go, waiting on parts to come in. So there's definitely a few extra parts you're going to have to get with this thing. We're waiting on some fireproof or heat-resistant line covers, because when you put these things on, they're going to be close to the headers, and I don't know what the quality of these lines are. This is the cheapest oil cooler kit we could find. The stock oil pressure or oil temperature sensor will not fit in the block. That's 1/8 or 1/4. So we got this sensor from Improved Racing, 30 bucks for a C5, threads right in, and it has an extension pigtail on it. It's supposed to have the same exact ohm reading as the stock one, so we should have no issues there. Now, looking at the block here, we're going to have some issues with this block that we're going to take care of. So what we did was we got some sandpaper and some brass brushes, and we just kind of bored the holes a little bit with it to take off the edges, because these threads and how they're cut and everything, it was really sloppy, as you see. So we didn't want any metal or any chips to get inside the engine. So we kind of chamfered all the edges, sanded them a little bit. We're going to take this to the sink, wash it out with some hot water and soap, brake clean it, and then blow it out with air. And we're going to put the sensor not into this port. This would be a turbo feed line, because that's right in the direct path. But we're going to put it in this side right here, which allows the sensor to go right to the edge of the line but does not restrict anything, and we'll show you how it looks. What we're going to use in the threads are thread lock or thread seal and lock compound 57506 by Permatex, and you want to put it on there so that the first couple threads do not have any of the compound on it. You don't want to get it mixed into the block, and we're going to thread it in flush. We got the Improved Racing temp sensor in there along with the blocking Allen plug there. Cleaned everything out, make sure it looks neat, let it dry. So we'll probably let that sit overnight. The next thing we're going to work on is this cooler. So you got to get it mounted on the plate, and it mounts just like that. But we have a small issue here. If you see there, the heads of the bolts don't fit on the one side of the cooler, but on the other side it does. So we'll have to wallow these holes out a little bit, because you get some adjustability here left and right on it, because it's a really tight fit up back there behind the sway bar and everything in front of the power steering rack. So we're going to have to get the lines run. We're waiting on some line covers, some heat resistant ones. So once we get those, we can run the lines. All right, we got that hose protecting in. We're going to cut it to fit on these AN lines to protect everything and see how it looks. The AN fittings wrapped so the headers don't burn them up. Now we're going to get everything situated and kind of mocked up and mounted so we can see where these lines can go. We were cleaning the lines out, getting ready to install them, and literally a glob of grease was inside of it from when they installed the AN fittings at the factory. It's a good thing to blow your stuff out, clean it with brake clean. If we didn't take this step and do it, maybe that would have been trouble for the engine. Don't know. So we're going to continue on and get these lines routed now. All right, I want to show you how we had to route the oil cooler lines. Now, you push the lines up there first, and then you connect the block while the lines are up in there already. And as you can see, it'll rotate up in place On the front port here, closest to the sensor, you want that sharp bend and the 90 degree at the top. Then you'll have two 90 degrees at the front, but we basically went underneath the motor mount bracket to avoid the header, and we'll come out and see. If you can see, we're behind the mount. We just loosened up that harness clip there to get it up, and then ran it up underneath and over the power steering rack. We'll come up and look from the inside. You see down there, we have it behind the motor mount and underneath the motor mount bracket, and it runs up over the power steering rack, down, drops right into the front down there. Right over there. And that's right where the cooler goes. So we got everything kind of running there. We're gonna try and get this block mounted. It's gonna be very difficult. It's tight fit, but we should be able to get it. All right, we have the block adapter on the engine, as well as the lines run. It's a very tight squeeze. Hopefully everything's tight. We got the lines, they go down. Underneath, if you follow, that's the motor mount there on the left, and they go right behind it, kind of hug the block. Try and get back here, get a good view of it. Nobody really shows a good view of it, but they go right behind the motor mount there and kind of come around and go in between the wiring harness and the power steering hose. And then they shoot up. And that's kind of where they come out, on top of the rack there. They go over the leaf spring. They go over the rack. Kind of drop down in the front of the rack right there. So we're gonna get the oil cooler bracket set up, get everything where we want it, and then mock it up, tighten everything, and see if we can get this thing started. We got the lines through, we had them taped off, so they're pretty much good to go now. That's the area they're gonna be in. We kind of pushed the cooler up there to make sure it fits. It does. We'll go and show you what we had to do on the cooler side. For the oil cooler, we had to elongate the holes in order to get it to fit properly onto the plate with the hardware that they included. The head was too big and the holes too close to the actual cooler. It's also a good idea to rinse and wash these things out and then blow them out with low pressure air. This is a bar and fin type one, so we took some brake clean, ran it through both sides, and some low pressure air, capped it. Before we drill into the subframe to put the mount on, we're gonna just hang the cooler by the lines, test start it, and make sure there's no leaks. We're also gonna fill this cooler up with some oil to reduce the risk of oil starvation during the first couple seconds of startup. That's about where it's gonna sit. Triple check the lines, make sure everything's out of the way, nothing's getting bound up. All right, we turned it over quite a bit, checked the oil again. We're gonna start it up, let it run, and hopefully there's no leaks.
Expand.
All those lights are on because we're doing the ball joints and everything and have the hubs out. All right, so far everything looks good. Cooler's looking good. Everything up top looks decent. So we'll just keep monitoring it. Oil pressure seems good on the gauge. And on the dash, 44 PSI. The vehicle's fully warmed up. We revved it. Got the oil pressure up to over 60 PSI. This is what it sits at when it's idling. So it's doing perfect. We're gonna check the temperatures. Oil temp is 142. Coolant 199. trans 91. And it's up on jack stands right now, so everything is doing fantastic. Cooler's sitting nice. We gotta put that plate there. It is warm. This feels like the inlet, and this feels like the outlet. It's a little bit cooler on this side. So everything's good. We're gonna shut it down, let it cool off, recheck all the fittings one more time, and then get this plate on here. This is why we do a preheat on jack stands before we bolt anything up, because you can, and most of the time you will have leaks. So we want another quarter turn on these AN fittings. We're gonna clean it up and run it again. The oil cooler is mounted up. It is a very, very tight fit. As you can see, one of the AN lines are touching the trans cooler line. It's barely touching it though, so we think we have some adjustability on the bracket. We'll adjust that out. The lines, as you can see, go over the steering rack and then straight down. This is the other side, going over the rack and down underneath the power steering pump. In between where the steering rack hooks to the steering linkage that goes up to the steering wheel, and down behind the motor mount. Here's another view from inside the wheel well. It's down behind the motor mount in there. And then we'll come around, and then they go right up to the oil filter housing. That's how it looks sitting in there. It fits really well. Super impressed with it. We're gonna start the engine now. Nothing's hitting. We're on the way. Everything seems good. If you hear the hissing noise in the background, I think the belt tensioner is going bad. It's not the oil cooler. But we did notice with the cooler, the anodized fittings seem not to be the greatest quality, obviously, because it's the cheapest kit. But I don't think they're leaking or anything. They just kind of turned a weird color. Everything else looks good. We'll go inside and check the oil temps, pressure, and all that, and see what we got. We're sitting at 31 PSI, 212 on the oil temp, 216 on the coolant, 210 on the trans. We've been running this thing for quite some time now. 216 is the highest we can get. Overall, super satisfied with the kit. As you can see down there, the fittings, they're lower quality, so the color did change a little bit on them. That's not wet or anything. Everything else seems fine. We'll get it on the road soon, test it out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.